Hello and welcome to Netflix versus Cinema. Big question for you, big screen or big stream? What do you prefer? Do you prefer, like my wife does, having the cinema being brought to you in your house or going out to go to the cinema? That is the question that we're going to be trying to answer on this podcast.
Let's get ready to rumble!
My name is Tosin and I am the host. I am based up in a place called Bromsgrove in the middle of the United Kingdom near the second city, Birmingham. And joining me is one person this week. I have just one this week at the moment. Our numbers might grow as this podcast goes along. And that is Holly Nesline, a London correspondent. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good thing. So what we do on this is that we go to the cinema every week. We watch a couple of things, rate them out of 5. We stay at home, watch a couple of things, rate them out of 5. Put them up against each other and see where has our money been better spent this week. And more crucially, where would we recommend you spend your money this week? So, with that being said, what have we seen in the cinema this week, Holly?
Nothing.
We're doing our
sausage.
Well, I have actually seen something. I have seen a film called Eternity. That is the one that stars Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, and Callum Turner, otherwise known as Mr. Dua Lipa. And I actually had there was a short period. There was a short, brilliant, wonderful period where it looked like I might actually see two things this week. I might have been able to do a double header, but it came down to a choice between Zootropolis 2, because my wife ended up having to do a chest drain at work, and which meant she couldn't get home in enough time, and so that meant that my window to get there and see Zootropolis 2 and then Eternity went out. But Zootropolis 2 at the moment is making all of the money. It is. Did you hear about its opening weekend, Holly?
I did not.
It's either the opening weekend or the first 5 days, but this film made about $563 million worldwide. So it made over $500 million worldwide in less than a week. And so with that, I looked at it and I thought, you know what? They don't need my money right now. They're going to be there next week. That film is still going to be there next week. However, Eternity... and the week after. That film, I'll be surprised if that film is out of cinemas before Christmas. And in fact, I'm going to say it now, it's still going to be in cinemas in January. On the other hand, Eternity, last week, it was Wake Up Dead Man, and I was like, you know what, that's not going to be in cinemas that long. Got to go watch that in cinemas. Same thing with this Eternity. I'm like, it looks like a small, quirky film, and that's not going to be in cinemas that long. So if I have a choice, I'm going to go for the small, quirky film, because Zootropolis 2, as much as I love the first one, is going to be in cinemas longer. Or Zootopia if you're in America. So, Zootropolis 2, that might have to be like on Christmas when I actually have more time and, they'll let me watch more films. But at the moment, I just saw Eternity. How about at home? What have you seen?
I have seen all 3 series of Delhi Crime.
Okay.
And I have seen, now I have to check what the name of it is because I always forget.
Something with Hayden Panettiere?
Yes, it is. What is her latest film?
You see, now that's the thing. Anything, when you say Hayden Panettiere, anything that isn't heroes, I immediately kind of go, well, I don't think that's going to be any good, is it?
Well, quite.
Apart from maybe Nashville. Nashville was actually something that I was kind of quite impressed with her. I was like, oh, wow, thank God she got something that was worthwhile.
And it was. Amber Alert.
Amber Alert. Oh, yes, Amber. But I think she also went off and spent some time she got married to one of the Klitschko brothers.
Yes.
I think was she the first lady of Kiev? Because one of them is the mayor of Kiev. I can't remember which one it was that she was married to and which one it was that was the mayor. So,
no, I can't remember either. But yes, quite possibly she was the first lady of Kiev.
Yeah. Is she okay, no, this is going into a gossip podcast as I'm trying to figure out more about Hayden Panettiere's love life. Okay, so you've seen...
She's also very short, and her husband, or I think ex-husband now, is very tall.
He is massively tall, and yes, she
very
is...
tall person.
She is petite. She's very sort of like Sabrina Carpenter sized.
Yes.
She actually... Yeah. Anyway. No, okay, keep moving. Sorry. I keep getting sidetracked you keep sidetracking me by gossip type things. All right, cool. So until we have more people join us, shall we say representing cinemas this week will be Eternity, and representing home viewing and streaming platforms and all those kind of those guys shall be 3 seasons of Delhi Crime, because you have been sending texts all week going, oh, Delhi Crime, oh, Delhi Crime, ooh, Delhi Crime. And I also finished watching Down Cemetery Road.
Oh.
Yeah, finished watching that today because the final episode was released today. So Down Cemetery Road. Okay, let's kick off then, and I shall kick off in cinemas, and I shall talk Eternity. So this is a film. It is a film where it's kind of like a rom-com, but the basic idea about this is that you have it starts off with a couple, an elderly couple. They look like maybe they're in the 80s or something like that. They're driving to a gender reveal party, and they're bickering in the car. They're bickering in the car because the man is sat in the car and he's kind of like, oh, Sharon just joined us. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Hi, I'm talking Eternity. I've just started talking about Eternity. And so they're bickering in the car. They're going to a baby shower, and he's talking about, oh, I don't really like baby showers. What are we doing? What's up with this? And what you get very well is that you get that they've been married a long time. They understand each other. They understand each other's quirks. They know what each other is going to do and all that. And they get to this baby shower, which is going to be for their great grandchild. Not baby shower, but a gender reveal party for the great grandchild. And while they're there, he eats a pretzel, chokes, falls down, and hits his head. And then he wakes up on a train. But when he wakes up on the train, he is now Miles Teller. He is no longer 80 years old. He is a much younger self. And so dropped off in the junction, and it turns out that he's died. He's died, and he's ended up in this place called the Junction, where people die, and then they come there from trains all over the place and all that. And he keeps going, what's going on? What's going on? And they keep telling him, your AC will be with you shortly. Your AC will be with you shortly. AC stands for Afterlife Coordinator, where he meets Davin Joy Randolph. Is that her name? I think I'm gonna have to check that. Divine Joy. I'm pretty sure it's Randolph is the last name. She was in the leftovers. No, holdovers. She was in the holdovers. And she's his afterlife coordinator, and she explains to him that he's dead. He's now in this place called the Junction, and he's going to be there for a week. And it looks like a very sort of like corporate hotel, so to say. And they put him up in this really nice place, and they put him up and he has a week to decide what afterlife he has to go to. And then imagine a freshers fair, or like, of all these different people trying to sell you their afterlife, and it's like, come to this afterlife, man-free world, and they have all these jokes like, there's one called Man Free World, where the tagline is like, you've seen your last man ever, you'll never have to see a man again. And they say Man Free World number 443 is full up, but don't worry, Man Free World number 444 is coming very soon. It's been oversubscribed, kind of thing. So there's Man Free World, there's Western World, there's Nudist World. There's one of them where they go, did you think that 1930s Berlin would be great if it wasn't for all the Nazis? Welcome to Weimar World. We've removed all the Nazis. And it's like, and so you have all these different eternities that people can go to. And so he has to choose it. But he's like, what about my wife? What about my wife? Because before he died, it became apparent that she had cancer. So she dies about a week after he does. And he then meets him in the Junction. But it turns out that he was not her only husband, because she got married. She got married to somebody, and he died in the Korean War. And they were only married for 2 years, and he died in the Korean War. But he's also in the Junction, and he's been waiting in the Junction for 67 years for her to come and join him, because the time in the Junction passes the same as time on Earth. So he's been there for 67 years, and they all look younger, because when you die, you end up being you end up taking the form of when you were at your happiest. So whenever you were at your happiest, that's what you're going to spend eternity looking like. And there's some very funny jokes about, like, there's a joke where they go, yeah, we get a lot of 10-year-olds here and a lot of older people, not many teenagers. and so you have this film, but the heart about it is that you have this man who's been waiting for 67 years to come meet him in the Junction. You have this other man who she was married to for 50 years, and they had kids and grandkids and all that kind of stuff. And then the central crux of the film becomes, what are you going to do? Who are you going to spend your eternity with? Because they set out the rules that when you go to an eternity, you can't switch. You're staying in that eternity for eternity. And they constantly have people who try and escape. There's a line where people trying to escape their eternities, and if they're trying to escape their eternities, they get thrown into somewhere called the void, which is just blackness for all eternity. That's it. And then they have lines like where somebody's running away from their eternity, and he's like, "No, I can't look at another painting. Museum world sucks." And so that's what you have, but at the heart of it becomes this kind of like rom-com of who do I choose? Do I choose this one or that one and all that? And I think the film does a very, very good job of making very, very good cases for anything that could be done. That could be done. It's like for any options, and they do a very good job of sketching out what the dilemma actually is and why this is actually a choice that has to be made. And for some people, I think where it goes would be kind of, because I think this is like a top level rom-com in that there are some things that you would expect to have in a rom-com that 100% happen. That would 100% happen. But it's all about in what direction is this thing going to happen? Who's going to be doing the running to catch the plane before it takes off? Who is like, and I think they do that bit quite well. And I think you just end up going, oh, this is. It's a kind of film where there might be issues with it, but you are enjoying what is happening so much to question it too hard. And I think that the performances are brilliant. I think Miles Teller, Elizabeth Olsen, and Callum Turner are brilliant as this, like, you really do believe this thing. You do, like, even though Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen are playing younger versions of their characters, they still retain some of the older characteristics because they died when they were 80. So they still maintain this, and you really, really actually do believe that. There's some brilliant lines about old aging bodies, and one bit about how being able to do squats makes you feel so great because you couldn't do that when you died and all that. So all in all, I thought it was a great film. I really, really enjoyed it, and I would give it a 4. It is a dyed-in-the-wool 4 out of 5 for me for eternity. And Sharon, I thought I would like to see because I think depending on your belief, you might have issues with their depiction of eternity, but it does. And I did have a question, which I was like, I think in their depiction of eternity, I think I would get quite bored. But it's quite good. And it reminded me a lot of a film called Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep, which was made late 90s, I think it was. And which it reminded me, there were a lot of these things I was like, okay, I'm seeing some similarities here because that's not a very well-known film. But yeah, 4 stars out of 5 of eternity. I would recommend it. Please do go watch it if you get a chance before it disappears from cinemas, because Zootropolis 2 is taking up all of the oxygen. So that's it for 4 stars out of 5. I thought it was great. And okay, now let us go over to actually, first of all, Sharon, you see anything in cinema this week?
No, not this week. Nothing at all.
You bringing anything from home?
Only a short documentary that I don't have to do.
Okay, in that case, then we're going to let Holly tell us about Delhi Crime, which is something that you have been raving about for the last week.
I have. So Delhi Crime is a crime series set in Delhi. That is, as originally done in Hindi, but is very effectively dubbed into English, and I think was probably released as both. And the first series focuses on an absolutely horrific crime in 2012, where a young woman, she was a medical student, and her male friend were on a bus and were...
Oh, I remember that case.
Yeah, she was violently, horrifically sexually assaulted in...
So is this actually like a real... Is it an adaptation of a real story?
The first series is based upon that.
On a real story, yeah, because I remember that story, yeah.
And it was, it was the most, unbelievably horrific crime, and it dominated, world discourse at the time and for some time afterwards. And it is, interestingly, the police commissioner actually worked as a consultant on the series. And it's got some amalgamations of characters, but it is this beautifully and incredibly distressingly put together police investigation. And and working out what happened, how they caught them, the attitudes in India towards crime and people, which are very different to those in the UK. It is just fundamentally different. So it made it very insightful from my perspective. It was it was brutal viewing. I mean, it was incredibly distressing, but absolutely compulsive viewing because it was so well done.
Yeah,
following how they unpicked things was really, really impressive. And yes, as we all know, they were all caught, and in fact, they were. I don't know. I have a funny feeling that one of them may not have made it to trial. They were all hanged in 2022, I think, or 2020. So it was that's series 1. Series 2 follows on with the same cast of characters, and it deals with violent gang robberies and connections with sort of historic crime gangs in Delhi. That were tribal based. Similar sort of premise. I don't think that one is based upon fact or on a specific case.
Yeah.
And then the third series, which has just come out, is deals with ultimately sex trafficking. It is so well put together. It is very well shot. It's very well scripted, insightful. Yeah, all of it is distressing viewing, because there's no way these sorts of things can't be distressing viewing. And if you're okay with it, that's not a great sign. But it's excellent cinematography. It's won international awards.
Yeah.
It took, I think I saw it took something like 12 years. That can't have been quite as long as possibly 10 years to come up with gathering all of the information for, I think that in order to be able to film the series. So it's in depth, it's gritty, it's quite different to Scandinavian crime dramas, which we're very used to, and British crime dramas, which we're also used to. It has a very different dynamic, and that made it, I would say, quite refreshing viewing. I'm not sure if refreshing is the right word, but thought-provoking viewing. I thought it was absolutely superb. One of the best things I've seen. And it's a solid 5-star. I think series 1 is probably the best.
Yeah.
But all 3 are superb. Watch them. Steel yourself because it's not fun. But I think it's worth watching for the insight, and that makes one grateful for for good policing and knowing that these awful people were caught.
Yeah, and well, I think big thing for me, it's like something set in India about Indians, largely made by Indians.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single white character in it. In fact, I'm pretty much positive maybe in one of the series there might be one.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys understand me when I say "here."
Indeed.
As much as that sounds like I'm trying to start a race war or anything like that.
It was really nice seeing something that was
Yeah, but it's kind of, it's a bit like what we're saying about when, like, Sean's just joined us.
Yeah.
So it's a bit what we're talking about, Sean, about when you watch something that gives you a proper window into another culture, another way of doing things, and especially because sometimes the voice that's trying to lead you into this area, it might be like if you have let's say they had a European character going in there to say, oh my God, let's see all these weird things that these people in Delhi do. It's like, this is like an Indian voice going into an Indian place to tell you about an Indian story. And I am like, that is the kind of authenticity I can get behind. But, okay, cool. But you said 5 stars for Delhi Crime then.
Absolutely 5 stars.
What platform did you see?
6 if I could.
What platform did you see Delhi Crime on?
Netflix.
It was on Netflix. Okay, so Delhi Crime on Netflix, at least in the UK. And now I think we really don't have anything else in cinemas. Although, and this is something I've been thinking about, because if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that we have some rules as to what it is that we review or not. Number one, it can't be something that you have seen before. If you're talking about a TV series, you have to have seen the whole series before you actually bring it up here. And there's one other thing that I cannot remember. There's one other rule that probably can't be that important. But we have something here that causes a bit of a quandary, which is, Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair.
The whole bloody affair, yeah.
Yeah, the whole bloody affair. Although, Sean, I have decided in my very Trump-like way, as the dictator/king of this podcast, I have decided that this is actually a whole new film. This is a whole new film that has bits from films that we might have seen before, but they've done something different with it, because Sean, as a resident Tarantino expert, has decided to go sit down and go through all 4 hours of Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. Sean, tell us about this.
Okay, so it's slightly different. There's a few extra bits. There's the anime sequence. I don't know if you can remember from the original one, but that's very much extended and very much different as stuff that I hadn't seen before. So I don't know if this does make it a whole good film. And also some of the shots, there was a few shots of the ladies, the fight with Lucy Liu, where there were some shots in black and white. Well, that wasn't in.
Yep.
So,
because the only reason he made it black and white originally was to appease censors, and now he's like, I don't need to listen to you.
Yeah. So I mean, so I suppose you could, in fact, say it was a different film.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the whole bloody affair. Well, actually, any of the Kill Bills, but I surprised myself of how much I actually enjoyed it. How much I really, really did. I mean, I can't say enough. I was like, because I was expecting it to be, oh yeah, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to, but I still had that joy of thinking. But then, Toes, I mean, you know, the music, it's all like, oh yeah, that's from The Mercenary, that's from A Few Dollars More, that's from Lady Kung Fu, that's from Lady Snowblood, you know. So, I mean, it's obviously going to appeal to me and be quite emotional, you know. And I even thought in the second part, there's a bit where David Carradine's telling the story of Five May and the Five-Fingered Punch.
Yeah.
And I seem to remember when I watched it before, I found that maybe a little bit, I was like thinking, oh, you know, this is perhaps because the actual film itself was quite long. I was thinking, when I saw it before, I didn't quite enjoy that bit. But this time, seeing it, I was really, really compelled. I was really, really listening to the whole story, you know, where he's telling, and he's got the flute. And so, oh yeah, I mean, I had 4 hours of glee, you know, and there was an intermission. So, pardon? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Sorry,
Sharon's here now.
Yeah, sorry, Sharon. Didn't hear what you said.
I just said, oh, were they singing as well? Sorry, that was a reference to Glee.
The Glee. Oh, right. Okay.
Glee in it.
I see. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if have you ladies seen it at all? You must have seen Kill Bill, have you?
Yeah.
Sharon?
Never seen it.
I like your hair, by the way. I know that's going off on a tangent, but I don't know what you've done to your hair, but I like your hair like that, Holly. Anyway.
Blow dried it.
Oh, is that what it is? So suffice to say is, I had a really, really good time once again with this film. But then it's made for me, you know. It's one of those films. Yeah. It's made for me. So, you know, I'm totally biased. I know Happy John said to me, "Oh, you know, I don't, you know."
You told him, "Shut up."
I did, yeah. Well, he's not a big Tarantino fan, but then he's more of a. It's funny enough. We had a conversation about this, about how like people are into 80s films or 70s films or 90s films. And he actually said to me, oh, it's very much 1970s, you know. And I said, well, do you know, yeah, it is. Because we were talking, this is going on one of my tangents again. We were talking like about Stranger Things. And I said, Stranger Things, I don't particularly You know,
it's too 80s for you.
It's too 80s for me, and that's it, and that's what we come down to. It is definitely a generational thing, I think, of what you like, and the same probably with music, with TV, everything. So yeah, no, totally enjoyable experience. So
I can imagine he's like, it's a bit 70s, and you're like, that's the point.
That's it. So I mean, but yeah, that was a really, really good experience. Yeah.
So how many stars would you give Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair?
Well, it's a tough one, this, because I've got to think of bias, and I can understand where some people, like from John's point of view,
go with your bias.
5 star. An enjoyable experience.
I mean, when it comes to something like this, life's too short to try and think of other people's, like, to mitigate for other people when you're talking about how much you enjoy something. So
yeah, I'm trying to sort of be practical about it, sort of pragmatic about it. Wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea, but no, for me, it's a 5. So there you go.
You see, now this is something I can actually get behind, because I was one of those people who was really, really, really annoyed when they split the first Kill Bill into 2 films. I was so annoyed I didn't see either of them in the cinema because I was like, no, you're lying to us. I was like, no, you're lying to us. You promised 1 film, and now you're trying to make more money by making it into 2 films. And when that happened, and I feel like when that happened and when that was successful, it released a spate of people doing this nonsense of taking something that was supposed to be 1 film and then stretching it over 2 films. But so I think this idea of them coming back together is something that I think this is what I think it should always have been. The only problem is I looked at it and went, 4 hours. And I was like, I don't think I can go to the cinema for 4 hours.
And I understand that. But I think, I mean, if you enjoy a film, it's all that time's relative, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
If you're having a conversation with someone and you're really, really having a good conversation, time's gone like that. And yet, if you're sat on your own in a thing looking at a clock, it would just seem to go on forever, So
yeah.
Same with movies. I mean, I've sat in movies and thought, I could give you a few. Lost City of Z. I was like, Murder on the Orient Express. So that seemed like hours. That seems like having teeth pulled.
And how long did this one feel to you?
A couple of hours maybe. But it went by. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I didn't feel exhausted. I didn't feel tired. I came out really, really on a high. So yeah.
And did you? The final thing is, did you feel that? Did you feel that something was added by not having this into 2 films, having this like one long narrative?
I'll be totally honest. I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think about too much. I didn't really think about that actually too much. To say it worked, it certainly worked. But yeah.
Actually, no, that's a good question. So you said there was an interval. So
yes.
Did the interval happen where part 1 originally ended?
Yes, more or less, yes. Yeah.
And what's the point? Isn't that just like having 2 films back to back?
I suppose they wanted you to go. I mean, I got to be honest. That bit probably they could have done the intermission, because when I used to go to the cinema when I was young, if they ever had an intermission, Lawrence of Arabia, films like that, they'd always have the theme music to another thing. And I don't know if it's a Cineworld thing, but it was just the bub bub it up bub bub bub, the sort of what I call the background music. Whereas it would have been nice to have. But the start. I know I'm going on about it. The start of it. You were 5 and I was 6. You rolled on.
The Nancy Sinatra bit. Bang bang.
I just like whoa. So that set me up. But so they had an intermission. So I managed to have a wee break because I'm getting on a bit now. So. I did need one. So
well, you and Quentin Tarantino do share the same mind, so he probably didn't need a loo break himself when he got there. All right, cool. All right, right. So with that being said, we have one final thing, and Sharon, I mean, you showed up, you sat down, you heard us talk about this. It's only right that we let you talk about something as well, even though it's something that I do not think you're looking forward to that much. So you said you've seen a small documentary.
Yes, it just popped up on my feed on Netflix. It's called All the Empty Rooms.
Oh, this is the one you said that I might not want to watch.
Yeah, I don't think you should really.
Yeah.
I would describe it as a quietly devastating little documentary. It's only 33 minutes long.
Yep.
And it was produced, I had to write their names down because they're not names I know, by an American journalist called Steve Hartman. And he's collaborating with a photographer called Lou Bock. And Steve Hartman, he completely unknown to me, but I'd imagine any of our sort of American listeners and viewers, we have a few.
Yeah, we do have a few. Yeah.
Apparently, this is the introduction.
A Canadian who got in touch with us on YouTube called the Winnipegger.
Yes.
Wow.
So we do now have some sort of people from the North American continent, all aspects of it, who contact us. So he's a TV journalist who he's been known in the past for being the good news guy, the guy who does the sort of the light-hearted stuff, the uplifting things. Whenever there's something awful, he's the one they expect to give sort of like a positive thing.
Yeah.
So in situations where there's these devastating events, he's the one who has to look for the good in it. So this person was really heroic, this person was very brave, he's like the good news guy.
Yeah.
And he was sent to a school shooting. And initially it was one of these things that's quite a rare occasion. And then as the years have gone by, he has been sent to more and more of them. And he came to the conclusion that he cannot try to make a good news spin on what something is so devastating.
Yeah.
And the what I thought was the most devastating bit was always actually the captions at the beginning. It said something like 10 years ago there was something like 17 school shootings in the United States, which I just thought I couldn't believe that figure, sort of 17 in a year. And then it said, but last year there are 132 in 1 year, and the consequence of that is just devastating for the families. And so what he has done is he wants to look at the real cost of these events. And he has contacted the families of some of the child victims of these school shootings, and with a photographer by the name of Lou Bock. Yep. And they speak to the families, and they go into the children's bedrooms. And often these bedrooms have basically been left with the clothes still where their child left it, with the toys where they'd left them, their homework on the wall. It was a time capsule of this child's life, and they record these images and they create these books for the family. And to say that for every one of these shootings, it's not just a news event, it's not just a thing. For every one of these events, there is an empty room somewhere.
Yeah.
And some of these families have turned it into shrines, where there's pictures of it, and others have basically left them as a time capsule. You walk in and it's as if that child had just walked out. And some of them, it's like 5, 6, 7 years later, these rooms are just these encapsulating this life that has been lost. And I found it absolutely devastating to watch it. It was just so, and I'm not a parent. And so, but I found it was just absolutely devastating. But 33 minutes, it's a really powerful little documentary. And I think if anything, it just really goes to the heart of what all these sort of tragic events are about. It's about these empty rooms. And I thought, it was an amazing piece of filmmaking, short, powerful, and just devastating. So I don't really want to give it a star rating because I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I think it's just, but it was certainly impactful, and it just left me reeling. I wasn't expecting anything like that. And I just think, all power to him for trying to sort of to say, that these are the consequences of these actions, of these events, that because they happen so frequently now, they don't make the news.
Yeah.
Very often. But devastating. So I wasn't sure whether to bring it at all to review, because I thought sometimes it's just some things are just not beyond reviewing. You don't review it, but you just have to absorb the impact of it, and you just pray that something will happen to sort of change these devastating events.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Bowling for Columbine?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
I'd say I'm very glad you reviewed it, though, because I watched it and I feel quite distressed thinking about it, but that's the right way to feel.
And I would just like to say thanks for the warning, Sharon. I will probably watch it someday after I've girded my loins before to go with it. But thanks a lot for that. And I'm gonna follow on from your example, and I am not going to ask for who you think has won this week, because following the review of that. But I think we'll just yeah, I think that's all we actually have to talk about this week. But Vic, Sean, it looks like you want to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, yeah, there's hopefully there'll be some. I mean, yeah, there wasn't really been a lot out, as I say, and I'm really annoyed with the island because I wanted to see. I think there's a film called Christie or something, which was like a
boxer, is that?
Yeah, with the boxer, yeah.
Yeah.
With Sydney Sweeney being a boxer.
They didn't have it. They didn't have it here, so.
Yeah, I really want to see that as well.
So I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. So but although I'll tell you one thing, if you don't get to see Christie, there is a documentary on Netflix called Untold: Dance with the Devil, which is Christy Martin's story. So
right, okay.
So when they actually
I mean, do I go? I have thought about taking a hit and going to see like Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't know. I nearly did, and I thought, I mean, if you guys want me to go and see it, I'll go and see it. But I wasn't too impressed with the.
Sean, I don't think there's any need to put you through that.
Oh, okay. But I probably will go and watch. I don't know if Sharon wants to go. I probably will go and watch the remake of what's that one? Christmas one, the Bloody Christmas or whatever it's called. There's a Christmas horror choppy.
Horror, yeah.
Silent Night, Violent Night.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's that, and there's also there was something else. No, can't remember what it was. Oh no, that's not in cinemas. They remade The Hand That Rocks the Cradle for some reason.
Oh wow.
I don't think it needed remaking because it was excellent.
I know. I don't understand why. Because originally I thought it was a TV series because they've started doing this something where they remake like a movie into a TV series, and I can kind of see the point of that. But when I found out, no, you just remade The Hand That Rocks the Cradle as another film. Why? Why?
Look up who's in it now.
This time it's Micah Monroe and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Although there's a film called The Housemaid coming out with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. Yeah. That looks interesting.
Yeah, based on the books.
Yeah.
And we've got Avatar as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wow. There you
go. Oh, and I've just been looking online trying to find these comments that this person made on our Pillion review. And so there were a whole bunch of videos on a Pillion review, and it was things like, why bother going to see it? It's like why not? Why do you go watch a film before you actually find out what it was about? And then I figured out this person might not be in the UK, might not understand what an unlimited screening is. So I didn't explain that, and then there was some talk about us being like giggling, like being like giggling.
Giggling children watching a porno or something.
Well, yeah, giggling children watching a porno, that was it. And I had to explain, I was like, well, we're laughing at Sean's experience of watching it, which we did find funny. Come on, it was funny. Sean,
it was,
we haven't seen the film. We're not giggling at the film. We haven't seen it. So.
And saying that, right, okay, because I went up to Sunderland for a football game like that with me nephews. And I was telling about Pillion. I'll have to send you the message, and they. Anyway, so I was saying, and they've been taking the mickey out of me ever since. And they sent me this WhatsApp thing. I might have to forward it to you. And it said, and it's a review of it and saying, brilliant film and all that. And it goes, looks like someone else liked it too, Shawnee. I might forward that to you. But So.
But it seems like this guy, the Winnipegger, has deleted everything. Deleted his original comments and all that from a thing. I do not know why, but hey, I thought it was a good conversation that we had. But but until next week, when I might actually finally watch Zootropolis 2, because
I'm fancy that actually.
Well, the first Zootropolis is actually a brilliant film.
It's a good film. Yeah.
It's a brilliant film. But the thing is, what I was explaining to Holly at the beginning was that before Sharon and Sean showed up, was that in its first week worldwide, it made over $500,000.
Wow.
And so I'm like, that film is not going anywhere for a while. That film is going to be in cinemas until after Christmas.
You mean $500 million or $500,000?
$500 million. I meant $500 million.
Billion, I think.
Yeah, $500,000 is nothing nowadays. Yeah, it's like I meant $500 million. It made $500 million in less than a week worldwide. Wow. So that film is not going anywhere for a while. And instead, so I decided to go see two films that I did think were not going to be in cinemas that long: Wake Up Dead Man and Eternity. And also, another thing that I found a bit weird is Eternity. For the second week in a row, I went to watch a film in the cinema and got presented with a streamer's logo before the film started, because Eternity is an Apple film. It's an Apple original movie. Yeah, which is going to be on Apple TV Plus at some point. And they put the money up to get the film made. And I was just kind of like, oh, what is going... There's a landscape change happening, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. But I'm thinking a little bit like what happened with K-pop Demon Hunters. Netflix, because... Oh, did you hear that Netflix is buying Warner Brothers?
Yeah. I heard that. Oof.
Yeah.
Haven't Paramount challenged that as well? Aren't they doing a rival bid?
They're doing a rival bid. The Netflix bid has been accepted. Paramount have done a rival bid, and there's things that, like, you know, the current American president might get involved, and so it's gonna run for a while, and it might be years before anything is actually done. But it's changing landscape essentially. But I feel like, you know, with what Netflix did with the with K-pop Demon Hunters, where they released it on Netflix, it became a big thing, and then they released it in cinemas and still made 25 million in a weekend. I think that it could be like Netflix start going, oh, you know what, we're going to use the streaming platform as a proving ground to see what has enough interest to actually go to a cinema, which I don't think sounds like the worst idea.
No.
But I've been interested to find out with on Apple. F1 was such a big success film-wise at the cinema that they keep pushing back the date that it's released on Apple. So, because initially it was going to be like coming soon in, I think it was October or November, and now I notice it's sort of every time I look to see when's that coming to Apple, it's actually pushed back a bit more. So they're obviously still pushing it as a cinematic release more than that. It's been a while. It's been a while since that was released.
Or possibly also a paid for on platform.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then
that's it. Extra.
Okay. Right, okay, cool. Until next week, when we shall have some more existential questions about the nature of cinema and the future of cinema, and maybe finally there will not be some small film that I feel I need to support so I can actually finally see Zootropolis 2. It's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.